Hello friends, welcome to my channel Creating Essence. I am Megan. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I am on the front porch. I'm sure you couldn't tell. I have just been having a hard time carving out time to sit down and chat with you all, so I decided I'm taking advantage of nap time and the sunshine out here on the front porch, and background noise or not, I will try to cut out the car noises. And currently my dog is stalking some deer in the field across the road, so you might hear some growls and barks. But you guys are important, and I wanted to sit down and chat with you all. When I asked in a poll on Instagram a few months ago what you guys wanted to see more of, a lot of you said you would love to hear about how we deal with autism in our day-to-day life. Those of you who don't know, my oldest son is 10 years old, and he has high-functioning autism spectrum disorder, as well as profound sensory processing disorder. I will leave links to different videos on all that in the info box below, but I just wanted to kind of give you all a little update on, I guess, kind of what we're dealing with on a day-to-day. Autism can impact people in so many different ways, really every aspect of their life. But those of you who have kids on the spectrum know that this just kind of becomes life for us. You know, autism life, as they call it, is it's just how we live. It's just called life. A lot of times we don't realize that that's not normal for other people. I know there are so many parents out there who are struggling to find resources and stuff about practical life, and especially on the high functioning end. I have found in my, travels across the internet and through books and things, that there are actually a lot of resources, a lot more resources for families who are dealing with individuals more profoundly impacted by autism. And I guess on the lower end of the functioning spectrum for autism. So those of us who are dealing with the higher functioning end, we tend to not really have those resources or know where to go. Fathering Autism is an amazing channel here on YouTube. It's about a whole family, but it's run by the dad Asa, talking about his daughter Abby, and they also have an older son who is perfectly neurotypical, and his wife Priscilla, and just the adventures that their whole family goes on through everyday life and the extraordinary. But I digress, because Fathering Autism is awesome and you should go check it out. I could go on for hours about the little ticks and differences about life with a kiddo with autism, but it would take forever. So I figured I would pick one thing, and one thing we've been dealing with lately is tone. Tone of voice, how he comes across with people. He just doesn't realize it. He has been through immense therapy, first to learn how to talk, and then after that he went through therapies to learn how to, once he could get the words out, how to talk, how to make the words, how to communicate instead of having an autism meltdown when he was overstimulated. Learning how to communicate his needs, those things were big deals. That took a lot of therapy to get there. And now that he's 10 and maturing a lot, we're dealing a lot with very quickly and eloquently conveying himself, but coming across really extreme, especially when he's upset. For a very long time, when he gets upset about something, when we are out and about, and he would just very quickly erupt into screams and sobs, and I just would have to basically tell everyone around him very quickly, like, it's okay, it's just Gabe, it's okay, just like basically try to get them to realize this is not an emergency, it's okay, we'll get this all in hand shortly. So that kind of he just goes from 0 to 100 in a split second. And for the past little while, and especially lately, it's been, he just upset comes across as downright hateful. There is no expressing oneself in a rational way. There is only instantly screaming at people with such venom in his voice. And he doesn't even realize that there's any middle ground. And we have had to have a lot of long and serious talks with him about expressing your displeasure, your frustration with words and an even tone instead of instantly screaming and just being so angry, and the things he says are just hateful because to him, he sees everything as done to him because that's how his brain processes things. It's one of the ways that autism can really affect a high-functioning individual is it makes them seem like the most intensely egocentric person that ever walked the planet. It truly, the way their brain functions is that it is that person and then it is all the rest of the world. And the empathizing and the relating and the understanding and the social issues all come back to not being able to process in that way. So he sees everything as done to him and some kind of attack. And he goes from just playing to screaming horrible things at his baby brother who just knocked over his Lego construction. And we have been working really hard. My husband and I have sat down with him and explained the difference. Like talking to him and saying, what is it about my voice and my face right now that you can tell that I am upset with you? Do you understand I'm upset with you right now? He would say yes, and we would talk through that. And then I would say, do you understand what the difference is between that and how you just spoke to your brother? No. So then I would basically scream at him and be nasty the exact way he'd just been to his brother. And I said, do you see the difference now? And he's like, yes. He truly does not understand that. His brain can't process those things on its own. It doesn't pick up those cues. And that's one of those nuances where when people think social issues with autism, it means they don't know how to make friends. Like, oh, that kid doesn't have autism. He played just fine with my kid. No, it's not a matter of playing together or making friends or having conversations or speaking for that matter. It's that their brain doesn't process how to see other people or relate with other people. And that affects so much more than you can possibly realize unless you are living this life. And like with any issue that you have with an individual on the autism spectrum, it takes repetition, so much repetition. Because it's not that my son or other individuals with autism are naughty or are out of control. It's that they literally have to work so hard to reprogram their brains. They are truly, their brain is doing one thing and they're having to say, no, stop. That's not right. Remember, we have to do something different. It's like toddlers 24/7 on steroids. It just takes years of non-stop repetition to help them reprogram their brain, take a deep breath, remember the change we're making, remember why, and then do it. We are repeating, we are stopping ourselves, taking deep breaths, and considering how we can convey the same message in a different tone. So many times lately, he will get very suddenly opinionated about something, and I'll have to say, hey, Gabriel, tone. And that's his cue to consider how his voice sounds, which we had to go through. What is tone? How do we change it? Like at the most minute steps of every single thing we had to go through and consider and examine with him and help him understand all those nuances of every single conveyance. Because his brain just doesn't do that. I would love to hear in the comments below. Have you ever recognized these types of issues? If you have a child on the autism spectrum, tell me how you deal with it, or if you deal with it, because I know not every person with autism deals with the exact same issues. So I'd love to hear about it. Tell me if you have strategies. I would love it if we could support each other and give each other ideas, because goodness knows, in these weeks or months or years of repetition, we often wonder, did I actually take the right approach? Is there something else I should be doing? Is this repetition just the repetition that we do, or am I doing something wrong? Is it not getting through? So I would love to hear if you have dealt with these types of issues, how you've approached it, because we all can use some help and some more resources, especially as parents of kiddos on the autism spectrum. Thank you so much for sticking around today, friends. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anyone who you think might find it useful, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.